Chapter 1, The Shadow Beneath the Castle. The night wind swept through the cold valley, carrying the howls of dogs from distant villages and the echoing trumpets from the top of Rosenwald Castle. Against the pitch-black sky, the banner of the Edric dynasty, a black raven with spread wings on a blood-red background, fluttered like the shadow of an ill-omened eye. In the flickering light from the braziers, the figure of a man in tarnished silver armor appeared, standing as rigid as stone, his hand resting lightly on the hilt of the sword at his side. His cloak was torn at the hem, muddy at the flap, yet the guards at the castle gate immediately bowed their heads, no one daring to stop him. "Sir Alaric," a soldier whispered, his voice barely a breeze. "His Majesty is waiting for you." Alaric nodded, stepping through the stone gate without a word. Beneath his helmet, his eyes were sunken, dark as if he had just returned from hell. It was the gaze of one who had witnessed too much for loyalty to explain. He once believed in honor, as people believed in God. Believed that kingship was legitimate, that what he protected was the order of the world. But that belief was now just the sound of metal clashing against flesh and blood, a sound that still haunted him in every sleep. The great hall doors opened. A red carpet stretched from the steps to the black stone throne. Above, King Edric awaited, his face gaunt, his eyes sharp as razors. Around him were advisors, personal guards, and arrogant nobles whom Alaric had never respected. "Kneel, Sir Alaric," a voice boomed. It was the high priest, holding a gold-encrusted scepter. Alaric stepped forward, kneeling on one knee. But his head did not fully bow. A part of him had stopped submitting. "You returned from North," King Edric began. "I hear there was unrest." "Just a peasant uprising, Your Majesty," Alaric replied, unarmed, unorganized. "A few burnt houses. A few dead bodies." Edric pursed his lips. "And?" His voice was like a nail hammered into a heart. Alaric looked straight. "I captured 3 rebels alive. But they were children. One not even 10 years old. I have spared them." The atmosphere in the great hall suddenly grew as cold as if snow had fallen in summer. King Edric slowly rose. He descended the steps, each stride seemingly dragging all the shadows in the room with him. "You spared rebels?" he asked, his voice even. "They were not rebels. They were starving people," Alaric replied. "Your Majesty, they did not know why they were being killed." "Knowing or not, they were still thorns," Edric said, standing directly in front of Alaric. "And you are the sword. A sword I trusted. But if that sword hesitates, then it is no longer sharp." Alaric did not answer. He looked directly into the king's eyes, for the first time in his life, without flinching. Those eyes held no light of divine mandate, no radiance of righteousness. Only ambition and blood. King Edric turned his back. "Tomorrow you will lead your troops to Elstow village. There are rumors it harbors deserters. I want the flames to rise high enough to touch the gates of heaven." Alaric stood, gripping his sword hilt tighter. "And if there are children again, women? If they plead?" "Do not heed the weak," Edric replied coldly. "We do not rule with mercy." In that moment, Alaric realized the oath he had once lived for had become shackles.